For this Zentangle project, you're going to need a few supplies, which you can press pause here if you need to. For the fine glitter, you're going to want a very light color. I used the color Sugar from Michaels. Start off by placing some Mod Podge on your glass jar and then start laying your colored strips of paper along the Mod Podge, and as you go, cover the strips of paper again in Mod Podge. For the strips of paper, I just used Post-it notes, which I cut into 1/2-inch strips. The length worked out perfectly for me because it was the same height as the glass jar that I used. You're going to want a generous layer of the Mod Podge. Make it nice and wet. And you can see I have no rhyme or reason as to how I'm placing these strips. Just doing whatever I think would look nice, even though it's kind of hard to tell really as you're going along and placing the Mod Podge on top. Just make sure everything is sealed in nicely. I'm just adding my last strip here and adding some extra Mod Podge to where it might have dried a little bit. Then you take your Zentangle and you wrap it around very carefully around the entire jar, making sure you don't rip it or wrinkle it any place. And then you cut off the excess and use the Mod Podge to seal in that edge there, and you're going to go all the way around the jar with the Mod Podge with a nice generous layer. Once you've gone all the way around the jar, you're going to want to seal in the tops as well from where the tissue paper may have gone over a little bit, and then take your fine glitter, which you can't really see on camera, and just sprinkle the glitter all the way around the jar. Allow that to dry, and then you can start super gluing some of the gemstones in various areas on your jar. I use super glue because I tend to be a little rough with my objects, so it just gives a little bit of extra security. And you can see I'm just choosing spots where it would make sense to have a little extra pop. Once you're happy with where you've placed all of your gemstones, you are going to very carefully start adding some Mod Podge all the way around the jar again to seal in not only the gemstones that you placed in, but also the glitter. This is going to be the final step of the project. Once this is completely dried, you are all done, and you can use it to store pens and pencils or anything you want really. I'm going to use mine as to store some bath salts and put it in my bathroom. You can see it's quite pretty when it's all done, and the green tissue paper doesn't really show. It's the strips of paper underneath mostly that has the color in there for you. I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you tomorrow.